10 miles. That's how close two North Korean MiG-29s came to American F-16 before missile launch indicators started flashing red. June 18, 2025, 6 of America's finest fighter jets faced down by enemy aircraft armed with missiles and clear hostile intent. What happened next would determine whether the morning ended in diplomacy or disaster. This wasn't training. This wasn't a drill. This was real combat aircraft, real weapons, and real tensions that could have sparked an international incident in seconds. 4 days earlier, North Korea had crossed a line. Their Hwasong-12 ballistic missile tore through Japan's air defense zone like a declaration of war. But America's response wasn't a strongly worded statement or another round of sanction. It was something North Korea didn't expect: immediate action. At exactly 6:53 a.m. on June 18th, 6 F-16 Fighting Falcons lined up on runway 3 at Osan Air Base, South Korea. These weren't your grandfather's fighter jets. Each aircraft packed enough firepower to level a city block. 2 AIM-120C AMRAAM missiles per plane, each carrying 40 pounds of high explosive devastation capable of destroying targets through supersonic shockwaves. 2 AIM-9X Sidewinder missiles, heat-seeking hunters that could disable an enemy jet with a single hit to the engine. But here's what made this mission different. These American warriors weren't backing down from anybody. Before we dive deeper into this incredible story, I'd like to ask you for a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch these videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? The F-16s climbed to 22,000 feet, their twin-engine roar echoing across the Korean peninsula. Each pilot knew they were flying into contested airspace where one wrong move could trigger World War III. But that's exactly why they were there. Let us know what you think by commenting below about America's response to North Korean aggression. These magnificent aircraft represent the best of American engineering. The F-16 Fighting Falcon has been America's workhorse for decades, and for good reason. With its General Electric F110 engine pushing each jet to nearly twice the speed of sound, these fighters can reach any target in North Korea within minutes. The external fuel tanks gave them over 900 miles of range, enough to cover every inch of enemy territory and get home safely. As the formation crossed 93 miles from the North Korean border, something extraordinary happened. The electronic warfare pods activated, sending invisible waves of disruption across enemy radar systems. Background noise surged by 23% on North Korean screens. Every surveillance station from the coast to Pyongyang suddenly found their equipment struggling to track these American ghosts. But Kim Jong-un's forces weren't going to let this challenge go unanswered. Deep in a command bunker in Pyongyang, alarms started screaming. An officer's voice cut through the chaos. American fighters detected. No diplomatic clearance. Electronic warfare active. Within minutes, 2 MiG-29s scrambled from Suncheon Air Base. These weren't museum pieces. They were North Korea's most modern fighters, recently upgraded with technology that looked suspiciously similar to advanced Chinese and Russian systems. Each MiG carried R-27 medium-range missiles and R-73 short-range hunters, fully capable of live fire. The North Korean pilots climbed fast, not in standard formation, but in an aggressive intercept pattern designed for one thing: rapid engagement. Their radar systems locked into high-power mode as they closed the distance to the American formation. At 7 minutes and 6 seconds into the mission, everything changed. The American radar operator in Fox 2 spotted them first. 2 faint contacts emerging from the upper right edge of his screen. No identification codes, no radio contact, just 2 hostile aircraft heading straight for the F-16 formation. The separation closed rapidly. 30 miles, 25, 20. The North Korean MiGs were flying fast and aggressive, their intentions crystal clear. This wasn't a routine patrol, this was a military intercept with hostile intent. But here's where American training and professionalism shone through. Instead of panicking or retreating, the F-16 formation executed a perfect tactical response. Fox 1 transmitted calmly to his wingmen: break formation, maintain vector, no retreat. 2 F-16 dropped altitude while maintaining safe distance from the core group. The remaining jets adjusted their radar coverage to track the incoming threats. Every pilot knew that a single radar lock, one premature weapons activation, would escalate this encounter into full combat. For 10 tense minutes, these professional aviators from both sides played a deadly game of aerial chess. The North Korean MiGs closed to within 10 miles, close enough for their radar to enter active tracking mode, close enough to see the American aircraft with their own eyes. But America's pilots held their nerve. Fox 1 gave a subtle wing dip to the right, a universal aviation signal that means you're getting too close. It was a professional warning between warriors, even enemies. And remarkably, the North Korean pilots understood. Despite decades of hostile rhetoric from their leadership, these were professional airmen who recognized the signal. They adjusted course 7 degrees northward, reducing airspeed just enough to signal withdrawal intent. At 7:21 and 33 seconds, one MiG activated its identification lights, blinking 3 times in the classic military recognition pattern. It was over. Both sides had made their point without spilling blood. The North Korean MiGs turned toward home base, exiting the engagement zone without firing a shot. But make no mistake, this was no random encounter. This was calculated intimidation from Pyongyang, a message that they were still watching, still tracking, still ready to respond to American operations in their backyard. But the F-16 formation continued, as if nothing had happened. All 6 jets maintained altitude, speed, and course, flying through the area exactly as planned. That calm professionalism sent the strongest possible message. America doesn't ask permission to operate in international airspace. What truly frustrated North Korean leadership wasn't American aggression, but American confidence. Washington never acknowledged Pyongyang's claimed control of the skies, never asked for permission, never showed fear. Minutes later, something even more significant happened. The 6 American F-16s were joined by Allied aircraft, 2 South Korean F-15K Slam Eagles, and 2 Japanese F-2 fighters. Suddenly, this wasn't just an American operation. It was a unified response from 3 democratic allies working as one. The formation executed complex training maneuvers right in North Korea's backyard, combined air defense drills, simulated strike missions, electronic warfare exercises that demonstrated the Allies' ability to suppress enemy radar systems. This trilateral cooperation represents something North Korea fears more than any single weapon: the reality that they face not just America, but a network of advanced democratic nations working together. In the days following this encounter, North Korean airfields buzzed with activity. Fighter sorties doubled from bases like Suncheon and Sondok. But these weren't offensive patrol. They were defensive reactions. Wide perimeter loops designed to avoid appearing unready while not provoking further escalation. Ground radar stations ran continuously, showing signs of electronic interference. North Korea had lost what military strategists call tempo control. They were no longer setting the pace of events. They were merely reacting to moves made in Washington. Recent intelligence suggests North Korea has been upgrading their MiG-29 fleet with new missiles that resemble American AIM-120 AMRAAMs, likely with Chinese and Russian assistance. But even with these improvements, they face a sobering reality. America has been steadily increasing its fighter presence in South Korea, creating super squadrons of F-16 at Osan Air Base, just 30 miles from Seoul and within easy striking distance of North Korean targets. These aren't just any F-16s. They're the latest upgraded models with advanced radar systems and enhanced weapons capability. What worries Pyongyang most isn't 6 F-16s. They're too familiar to be threatening, too limited to spark open war. But they represent something bigger and more dangerous to North Korean strategy. When your adversary no longer fears your reaction, your intimidation tactics collapse. In the East Asian airspace game, whoever can't control the narrative doesn't control the battle space. This time, the script wasn't written in Pyongyang, it was written in Washington. And the real question isn't whether North Korea will fire first, it's how much room they have left to maneuver when American silence becomes the most strategic weapon of all. The encounter on June 18th proved that professional military forces can face each other down without starting wars. But it also demonstrated that America and its allies are prepared to operate wherever international law allows, regardless of North Korean threats. What many don't realize is the sophisticated technology these American pilots deployed. The ALQ-131A electronic warfare pods didn't just jam enemy radar. They created a mock electronic battlefield that confused every surveillance station across North Korea's Eastern Defense Network. When these systems activated at 93 miles from the border, They triggered a 23% surge in background noise on enemy screens, forcing North Korean operators to switch their entire network to active scan mode. This electronic dominance represents decades of American technological superiority. While North Korea struggled with outdated Soviet-era equipment, American pilots operated with cutting-edge systems that could blind enemy radar while maintaining perfect situational awareness. The precision of this operation was remarkable. These F-16s carried external fuel tanks holding 370 gallons each, extending their combat radius to over 930 miles. This meant they could cover all of North Korea's eastern coastline and the entire Japanese archipelago without needing mid-air refueling, a logistical advantage that demonstrates America's superior operational planning. This mission took place under South Korean President Lee Jae-myung, who had recently declared his intent to deepen defense ties with the United States and Japan based on sovereign independence. The trilateral formation that followed represented the first joint drill under his leadership, a clear signal that democratic allies stand united against authoritarian threats. The timing was deliberate. Rather than issuing diplomatic protests after North Korea's missile launch, America chose immediate operational response. No prior notification to Pyongyang, no requests for permission, just professional military action in international airspace, exactly as international law permits. This represents a fundamental shift in how America deals with North Korean provocations. In the past, each missile launch was met with statements and diplomatic concern. Now, every provocation triggers real-time analysis and immediate military response through live operational formations. As more upgraded F-16s arrive in South Korea from Japan and the U.S. builds up its super squadron concept, the message to North Korea becomes clearer. America isn't just maintaining the status quo, it's actively improving its capability to respond to any provocation. These professional American airmen, flying the world's most advanced fighter aircraft, represent more than military might. They represent the free world's commitment to defending democratic values against authoritarian aggression. Every time North Korea launches a missile or makes a threat, they can expect to see American fighters in the sky, ready to defend their allies and uphold international law. Not with reckless aggression, but with the calm professionalism that comes from superior training, superior equipment, and the righteous cause of defending freedom. The next time you see an F-16 Fighting Falcon streaking across the sky, remember, you're looking at one of freedom's guardians, flown by some of the bravest men and women in uniform, ready to face down any threat to keep America and its allies safe. That's the kind of strength that keeps the peace. That's the kind of professionalism that prevents wars. And that's why America's military remains the finest fighting force the world has ever known. If you found this story as compelling as we did bringing it to you, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more incredible stories of American military excellence. Your support helps us continue covering the brave men and women who defend our freedom every single day.